All right, let's get things started. And yeah, looks like we have people from all over. Roger from Wisconsin. We got Scott from North Carolina. Good to see you here. We got our friends in Australia joining as well. Welcome to, again, Bittersweet, one of the last webinar Wednesdays of the year. I think we have one or two more left in us before New Year's, and we're kicking off 2025. If this is your first time joining, welcome. I am Jason there on the left. And as always, we're lucky, very lucky to be joined by David Rockland, who is the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories. Thank you, David, for joining us today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I think this is 192. Only a couple left for the rest of the year, but it's always a fun time of year. Hope everybody had a very fruitful Black Friday, Cyber Week. And I got some really, really great updates to share with everybody this week. This is going to be a good one.
Definitely. We got a lot of, irons in the fire, so to say, here at BD. For those of you joining us on YouTube, welcome to the webinar. If you're not subscribed to the BD YouTube channel, you can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube. We'll drop a link in the comments for you guys. It's a great way to get updated as soon as these webinar replays are available. Also, tips of the week and feature tutorials as well. And also, one of my favorite places when I'm feeling down and blue is to come to the BD Facebook group. There's so much positivity in that group. People are busy working on their sites, sharing ideas together. I'm in there myself. And also, the replay of the webinar will be posted in the Facebook group shortly after. We invite you to join us there as well. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on that join button there. And as David alluded to, we'll just drop this very quickly. It is the last day for the Black Friday and Cyber deals. So if you didn't pick something up, highly recommend it. Maybe you have an idea in the back of your mind for 2025. We'll just take a moment and go there together. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/cyber. We'll drop a link in the comments now. If you're looking for single site deals, if you need to add the VIP add-ons club to any of your sites, or if you want to load up your sites, the instant business records are heavily discounted. And you can also spread them across multiple sites because these are pretty heavy volumes here. And we did create one plan for agencies or, power users. There's a 25 lifetime website bundle here. So if you need to take advantage of that for whatever your goals are, that is available for you there. All right, let's get back to here. And then also, free swag giveaway for everyone on the webinar watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, in the stream. You can go to shop.brilliantdirectories.com and pick yourself up some swag. Use these two promo codes at checkout, Black Fry and also free ship. Black Fry will reduce the cost of the merch, and free ship will bring the shipping cost down to zero. It's up to $30 worth of free shipping, so that should be plenty for our international friends as well. Let's go to that shop together real quick. I'm very sad the mouse pad, which was one of my favorite items, is out of stock right now, but there's tons of fun stuff here. You can't go wrong with a coffee mug, frosted glass here, or a tumbler. The other top favorites are the fanny pack and the Bluetooth speaker. This thing is actually pretty tiny. It's perfect to place on your desk, and then you can play music while you're working. And of course, there is some apparel and some journaling. So we invite everyone who is on and watching the webinar right now to go to shop.brilliantdirectories.com and pick yourself up some free swag. And we do see a lot of people joining us from around the world. Welcome. Webinar Wednesday is a great time for us to share some of the recent updates pushed into the Brilliant Directories platform. A big shout out to you guys. A lot of the updates we do are from your suggestions, things you point out, things you challenge us on, and we do definitely want to improve. So it really is a team effort to make the platform bigger and better for everyone. And in Webinar Wednesdays, we'll cover some of the updates that you can take actionable steps on to help grow your community, such as increasing traffic, converting your website visitors into free or paying members, sharing and identifying new revenue opportunities, and more. We should have plenty of time today for a Q&A session. So if you're stuck on your site, have questions, we'll do that 2 or 3 minute test to see if we can troubleshoot any issues you're having on your site and help you move forward on your way. All right, we have a ton of updates. Half of these are coming soon, but I thought they were super important, especially as we're getting towards the end of the year. I'll try to breeze through these as quickly as possible, so I know I tend to talk a lot about a certain feature, talk for hours about these. So I'll just start at the top here about languages. Just a couple days ago, we dropped some new languages, so you can start your site in up to 18 different languages right now. So you can choose one primary language, and instead of manually changing 1,800 text labels, 95% of the translation will be done for you, and there are more languages coming soon. So right now it goes all the way from Arabic down to the 2 types of Chinese here. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's go to a site here together. Here is a site. We can see that this is in English here, this Holistic Health Finder site. It's going to show you if you were just starting your site and you're like, hey, I need to serve the Japanese market. My site is for Japan and all my members are in Japan. You would go to localization and you would choose your primary country, your time format. And now under languages, for example, Japanese is one of the 18 that's available now. Let me save the changes. Perfect. And I'm just going to refresh the screen here. And if we just hold our breath for a moment, there we go. So 99% of the site is now in Japanese. The only things that you would need to update as the website owner are your main menu and your footer menu, as well as the post type names. You can translate these and call them what you want. A lot of people change what these are anyways. They change coupons to deals or promotions. So they're already changing the verbiage there. So you would just change your main menu, your text, your post types, and maybe a few other things. The names of your membership plans that come with your BD site, translate them. But basically now with one click, you can have your site translated into any one of these languages when you're starting out. This next one here is coming soon. It's related to the newsletters. And I'll show you that. If you're sending newsletters through the updated BD system, I've been using it myself. It's really amazing. We have a handful of updates we're going to also release soon, quality of life updates. But this new one is related to being able to export the email stats as CSV files. So right now, when you send an email, you get these stats of how many people it was delivered to, failed, opens, and clicks. So let's click on one of these. And right now, what's nice is you can create a smart list from this. What's coming soon is being able to export this as a CSV. So if you need to use this in another CRM or another system or just have it for yourself, you can export the list based on their delivered status, unopened, open, clicks, etc. So this will make you a bit more stealthier if you're doing your email marketing with the BD system. I know it's super helpful for me because we can export, import, and create more segmented lists on the fly. All right, this next one is also coming soon. We have a goal date of about December 15th. We're releasing more gateways. The first one coming down the line is to support our users in India. That right now there's a huge gap. They can't use PayPal or Stripe as easily because of the local markets there. So we're releasing Razorpay soon. And right on the heels of that, we do have more gateways coming down the line. Let me see here. We're also going to be releasing Paystack, which better serves our friends in Africa as well. And then there'll be more coming in 2025. Effectively, what we're doing with the update with these two is we're kind of changing our code base with how we're able to add new gateways that integrate with brilliant directories. So after we get these two, it should be off to the races with adding more based on demand and necessity. All right, this is a big one if you're using Zapier, and I think it's been a huge hurdle up until now. We've had to rely on the webhooks with your Brilliant Directory site, but now in Zapier, there are new triggers. When any new record is created on your site, you can begin a Zapier workflow. Basically, Zapier, if you're unfamiliar, lets you connect your Brilliant Directories data with other platforms. So if you're using another CRM or you're using something else that you're trying to create actions that are updated based on data on your BD site, Zapier and other integration tools help with that. So let me show you that real quick. When you're in Zapier, again, the trigger event now is all users, any new form inquiries, any new post, any new review. Prior to this, you had to pin it to a field. So there was a kind of a limitation because there was a restriction. You had to define something to be pinned with that new record. Now it's just any new record in these categories here: reviews, posts, leads, forms, and users. And this is highly valuable. All the information is going to come there. So if you need to do additional filtering later, so a new member is created, you can then check if it's based on a certain membership plan or subscription, and then do other actions from there. But now you don't have to webhook your BD data into Zapier. You can just trigger for any new event that's coming through here. We'll cover this in a tip of the week later on some of the use cases. This next one is also coming soon. It's related to revisions. So we make a lot of changes in our admin area. We could be editing a widget. We could be editing a web page. We could be editing a form or a menu. The first iteration of this is going to be editing the code base of your post types and being able to revert it. Let me show you what I'm referring to. So let's say you're working on editing the post type for discussions. And again, this one is more code-based, but this will be more useful when you want to revert like what you did on a web page or a main menu or your forms. But you will soon have this revision here, and it'll have up to 50 different revisions that you saved historically. So I'll just do a simple one here. Let's revert to what I did on November 30th. And you can load the revision and watch this text here. It's going to say, Jason was here. So this is my old code that I had from November 30th. I can save my changes and stick with this, or I can go back to my current code here. We can go even further back to another version and here. So this is just the methodology of it. And we're going to release it here because this is I think the most low touch area where people would want to use it, test it out, make sure it's working well here. And then we'll start planting this in the web page builder and, the menus, the forms, and more places like that. So this will save you if you do an oopsie daisy somewhere, you don't necessarily lose it and you can revert back to it. All right, this next one I'm personally super excited for. We're working on push alerts for you guys, both on your mobile, but what seems to be, it's going to come first are browser alerts, and I'll show you what we mean. I have a test site here. Let me just reload this page. And basically, once you subscribe to getting browser alerts for your site, you'll basically get notified on your computer while you're working anytime a new member joins your site. If you have staff members saving changes on your site, let me just save the general settings. It takes about a minute or so. I'm going to do it a couple times so we can see it come in. It takes about a minute in our demo test here. But if you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, alerts will start coming in soon. I'll just do 3 times there. But this is going to be super helpful and motivating. If you got a new payment you received, you'll be working on your computer and it'll say you just received $20 on your site. So you don't actually have to come to the admin and check. And then from this, we're going to be able to extend this to people who are using the Brilliant Directories app. So while you're on the go, you can get notified when new members join your site, when new revenue comes in, and more. So let's just give this a second. I'm pretty confident our demo will work. We should see those push notifications coming in soon. All right, this next one is released on the login page where your members log into your site. There we go. We see the push notifications there, and it says general settings of website saved. So this is a very simple example. We're going to see a few more come in, but super helpful and also very motivating. So this next one here is related to the member login page. This is available for everyone now. Just the convenience and accessibility of the show and hide as they're entering their password. Let's go here together. So you'll notice on your password field, your login page, let me refresh this. We now have this lockup here. This is my password. And, some people have really complicated passwords. So that's why we see this more often, because you're encouraged to create a complicated password. But sometimes if you're logging in, you really can't see it. And now we can see it. You just click it, hide, unlock, and lock. And if you don't want this on your site, or I'm going to show you, this is actually a text label, so we can edit this further. Let's actually do that together, because I had a cool idea of something you can do with this lock icon. I think I'm going to just type in password here. And I think it is, let's just do this. Let's find it. Just a moment. It's a new feature. Here we go. So this is the text label, so you can search for password icon. I think that would work. password icon label. Okay, I want to give you guys okay, there it is. So password icon label, if you search that in your text labels, we can see the icons here. You can remove them and it won't show the icon anymore. Let's do that together. So if you just decided you don't want this there, then the icon is gone. But let's do something else. Let's actually add some text here. Let's put the word hide and show just to give a bit more context. Maybe you have a different audience that they're not going to be familiar with what that icon is or can do. So now we have the show. There's the push notifications from the changes I just did. So now we have show and hide. So with a little bit more context, we added that right after the icon element here. So that's available to everyone. And I think it's a very convenient, and it also looks a little bit more developed. So it makes your site feel a little bit more developed than some others. All right. And also when we do the push notifications, they're going to be throttled. Right now, we just have it. We want to see them instantly. So that's why we're seeing them there. But let's move on here. All right, this next one here related to tagging. There was a small issue when you're using Zapier, again, referring to Zapier, and you're updating member tags, adding or removing tags based on certain actions in the workflow. Right now, it was fully deleting all the tags and then adding new ones. This one will let you to a la carte, very specifically add or remove individual tags. So a bit more granular control, the correct way it should be working. So that actually is coming soon. Also coming soon, when you're deleting members, we get a lot of tickets. I accidentally deleted my members, this and that. So we're adding an extra confirmation when you're deleting your members or an individual member, as well as some helpful options such as reassigning their posts. Maybe they have blog articles and you don't necessarily want to get rid of the articles they added to your site. You can reassign them to yourself or another member. We just have a mock-up of what that's going to look like. So you'll have a delete member. You'll have to click on yes, switch this to yes. And then there are other options here. If it's a parent of a sub account, you can choose to delete or keep their sub accounts. For GDPR compliance and things like that, you can choose to fully delete their profile images and files that might be living in your database. I mean, in your website. And then here you can reassign the post to the new owner. So you have good delete options there. And only after you confirm that you want to delete the member again, the yes, continue will pop up. And I think even then we give you one more confirmation just to make sure you're fully, you actually do want to move forward with this action. All right, this next one is related to the leads that members receive, and this came from a previous webinar. I forgot who recommended it, but it is coming soon. When your members receive leads, they'll now have the ability, when this is released, to set their own status for the lead so they can track their progress, as well as leave themselves personal notes so the member can leave themselves notes. That makes the lead interface a lot more interactive for the member, and they can actually go in there and do some work, and I have some mock-ups of what that's going to look like. So let's say they just purchased a lead for $10. They'll have this drop down here and it says mark lead as, and there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options, which will be text labels. So if you wanted to change what these say, you'll have 5 things that you can change. But effectively, when you're working a lead, it's usually deal 1, lost, in progress, no response, or needs contact or follow-up. So this will be coming soon. And then when they're back at looking at all their leads, they'll be able to filter by all of this as well, which is super because if they have a lot of deals, one, they can filter them and see how good your site is doing for them as far as return on investment and getting clients. So that's going to be wonderful. And then the next one here is below the lead, they'll be able to leave their own personal note. This is just an open text field where they can just leave their own notes, tried calling or, sent an email, no answer or whatever they want. But this way they can keep their own personal notes for a lead. And then last but not least, in the search members page, right now you can search members in the admin area by their name, their email address, and a wealth of other filters. We are creating a new filter so you can search members who are missing profile photos or profile logos, or who have profile photos or logos. And then from that, you can create smart lists and email them and saying, hey, come and add a profile photos, get more engagement on our site. So let me show you what that's going to look like. It's going to be a filter here for profile images, and you can select image exists or is image missing, and then which images. And then from there, you can see members who are missing these assets on their profile pages. So There are actually more updates, but because we're getting year end, I wanted to share as much as I could fit onto this slide without making the font too small. David, would you like to add anything or anything else we should mention about these updates?
No, I think this is great. We did have one question over on YouTube, though, from Official UFO Hub. Great name considering Cyber Week. He was asking if the default language, the text labels, if that can be changed on a live site or if that would permanently affect the website if they wanted to revert those changes.
So let's go there together. So you're basically choosing the default language you want your site to start in. So we can see here, we set this to Japanese. Now this site's text labels are going to be in Japanese. But if you mess up and you're like, oh no, I need to bring this back to English, you can just click English again and let me save the changes. And if I refresh here, everything will be back to English here. So it's just a one-time thing. You're just going to choose what you want your primary default text labels to be always. I hope that answers the question. Okay, super. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. If you guys have any questions or comments, and by the way, guys, if you want us to unmute your microphone, just type in the word question in all caps, and that indicates to us that you want to have your mic unmuted. It's a little different format than our previous webinars, but this way you can verbally ask your questions and we can unmute your microphone.
And while we're waiting for questions to come in, we might want to address a suggestion Jim had for the show and hide password icon. He was asking if the I icon is a little bit more standard. That wouldn't be a problem if you did want to change it. Like Jason showed, you could just edit the text label and exactly, you would want to do I for the hide, and the I/ is the other icon to use.
Oh, I did it backwards. Okay. So this would be the I and the I/.
Yep, I-/.
Okay. But the point is you have control of what's here, which is the important thing there. I just didn't like the I here. It looks a little not modern, but it's okay. You have control over that with the text labels. All right, and there's the push notifications for saving the text labels there. Okay, buddy, there we go. So yeah, we can move on to the questions and answers. Feel free to type your questions into the comments. You don't have to unmute your microphone if you don't want to. Or if you'd like us to help you with your site, maybe you're challenged somewhere, you've hit a roadblock, we can unmute your microphone, take a look at your site together and go from there. App Crazy, I think that's Neil there, it says loves the Zapier updates. Perfect. Brian's saying, Jason, I was trying to get categories, comedians, DUI lawyer, bartender from the import. Okay, this is a great question from Brian B. He is using the import tool. Give me a second. Let's go there together. Yeah, finding comedians, because a comedian would just go by their comedian name. They're not really a business. But DUI lawyers and bartenders and videographers, we can probably find them with the import. Okay, so let's go to the business data import tool. And first, let's look by the categories here. Let me zoom out one bit here. Okay. So let's look up bartender. So a bartender is really not a business location. It's more of like it's like a profession or a career. So there's bartending schools, which is not a bartender. And also the comedian. Those are more like gig jobs. I know they're professions and careers, but this is more like brick and mortar businesses or businesses that are established with addresses, Brian, that you could find here. However, if we use the business name search, let's just search comedian and a partial match, not the exact match. It's going to look for business names that have the word comedian in it. So it could be, my name is, Mark Jones comedian, and that's my business. Or magicians, right? They say like J&J magician. I do birthdays, bar mitzvahs, whatever. Let's do a quick search here. So actually 22 businesses with the word comedian in the name are here. I'm curious myself. Let's import them into this site here. This is a test site we have and see what we get here, Brian. And while we're doing that, I'm going to help you with the DUI lawyer thing as well. We'll let that import. We'll check it in a second. So let's clear comedian. Let's look for DUI in the category here. So there is no DUI here. This is where this comes in helpful. So if you look at the business name and you type in DUI lawyer, and again, we want to do partial match because then it's going to find like Jacoby and Myers DUI lawyers as part of their full business name. Let's do a search. So there's 116 DUI businesses with DUI lawyer in their name. And then also let's get creative. Let's put attorney in there. I'll just put attor, right? Because it's going to look for a partial match, DUI attor. So 79 businesses with DUI attorney in the name of the business. So we actually know that that's the business they focus on. And then lastly, Brian, I'm just going to look for videographer here. Let's see how you spell videographer. So videographer is not there, but let's put it in the business name search. So again, this could be like Mark Hopkins, videographer at large, weddings, whatever it might be. Okay, so there's 154 videographers, and this is why the business name search came in handy. Is if you do a partial match, and it like videographer is very distinct. If you're searching this, you're gonna get videographers. You're not gonna get people who raise goats by putting that in. I'm saying if you put something ambiguous like consulting, you don't know the type of consultant you're gonna get by just doing a partial match. But let's take a look at the comedians. It's importing 22 of them. And let's just see the names of them as they came in here. It's still trying to fetch the logos and stuff. Corporate entertainer, comedian, magician. So see, this guy's business name is Chris Rose, corporate entertainer, comedian, and magician. Amazon Locker, comedian, not sure what that is, but comedian Tim Kavanaugh. So you can see here, magicians and comedians go hand in hand. If you're looking for a good time, you know who to call. So those are some tips for you, Brian. Search by name there. Great question. Thank you.
We do have Jason waiting to have his mic unmuted to ask a question. But while we were on the topic of importing business records, we did have this question from Hans on YouTube asking what's going to happen if we get business names that come up twice in business record imports.
Great. So the business importer tool will not import the same record twice. What the same record is the same address. So if you search for McDonald's, it'll import multiple McDonald's, but it won't import the same McDonald's from the same address twice. It will skip them. So you can freely, continuously pull from the categories and what you're searching and get the next batch. So maybe they were 1,000 found and you only imported 10. Go ahead and just select the next batch. It's going to skip the 10 that you already imported. So the system will skip duplicate records that have already been imported. If you're seeing the same business name, they probably have a different brick and mortar address. So it's just the same Starbucks name, but it's a different location. I hope that helps answer. That was a good question there too. Okay. And should we bring Jason onto the stage here?
Yes, pretty good. I had a question about, how you set up a page, and I saw one time where it'll automatically put local businesses, even though you haven't imported them yet, it'll just kind of show, it almost looks like a yellow pages type of thing. And so I was wondering, can that feature be specific to a city? Like, I noticed wherever you are, when you look into it, it'll give the local, but I was trying to make it like for a specific city. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. All right. Are you referring to the business import tool as well here? Are we going to talk about the same thing?
No, not the import tool. It's like like you don't have, like if you don't, let's say you don't import any contacts.
Right.
It'll just show, like if I said restaurants, it'll just show like local restaurants in a format kind of looks like Google, like a Google listing almost.
Yeah. So that's to me, it sounds like, Jason, it just sounds like the regular search results page. And you get the results on the site here. So let me see, where's this? Let me just search London, England, right? I don't have the map set up on this site. Let me view this listing real quick. Let me click on the London here. So right now we're looking at all businesses in London, right? So this is the search results page. Is that where you're referring to?
Yeah, but like I didn't need to necessarily put them in there. Like let's just say you just set up a site and
yeah. So you're referring to the Google Search Assist. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So to enable that, and that's really how some people don't like it. So it just depends on your model. I like the Google Search Assist because if people are searching your site for, I'll just give an example here. I'm looking for diet pills, whatever. I don't know. Same. I don't know why that came to my mind, but let's just search for diet pills. There's no diet pills on this site, but you see, this is the Google Search Assist here. For the user, it's at least something useful that they're getting from your site. So they do
Correct.
see some results here, which again adds a little bit of utility of your site for them for the categories that you don't have any results. But let's turn it off for a second so we can see the difference. So if you go to your general settings, search settings, and the Google Search Assist, I'm going to go ahead and disable it.
Mhm.
And let's do another search on this site. We'll look for something like donut shop, which I don't think is on this site. So you're just going to get the sorry, we didn't find any results. I think we did a tip of the week, or we should, on how to make this seem like we didn't find this results, but why don't you be the first to join this category, or, showing a video where they can, just, we don't, instead of them hitting a dead end, but instead of them hitting a dead end, that's where the Google Search Assist comes in handy. And again, not for every site. It depends, the type of, maybe like a small association doesn't want that, but maybe like a big Yellow Pages type of site does want that. So it just depends the model that you're running. But that's the Google Search Assist, Jason.
So let me ask you this: Is that possible? Is it possible to make that city specific? So, for
Yes.
example, because I was doing it, and I noticed that if I was in another city and I did the same search, it'll come up, but it will be for that local area. Even though I'm like, let's say, Long Beach is a site that I have, and I'm in Downey, then the Downey results will pop up.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm near Los Angeles, and I didn't type in Los Angeles on this search for donut shops, but it somehow knew to pin me to Los Angeles here. See that? So somehow it knew a little bit. But if the person types in a location, let me type in like Detroit or something. Let's just do a search. So now it should be doing more Detroit donut shops. Yeah, here's the results here. Detroit donut shop. So if they're typing in a keyword and a location, it will pin the results to the location. And otherwise, it probably just goes by the user's IP, or it tries to, and then it tries to kind of push results that might be more relevant to that location. But it's probably
The most you can do. So you really can't, because like, let's say I'm traveling. Let's say I'm from Downey, but I'm doing some booking for thank you. I'm doing some booking for, Long Beach. So I don't really want Downey's search.
right.
You know what I
You
mean?
would type you then, if you're somewhere else and you want to see, so then you would type Long Beach here.
So they have to type it. Okay.
Yeah, and then when there's no results, then we're gonna see here's some Long Beach results. I just saw the keyword somewhere. Here we go. Dunkin' Donuts jobs in Long Beach, right? The best donuts in Long Beach. We should visit these places together, by the way. So there you go. So yeah, I'd say it tries to do the best to give something that's related to the intent of the user's search.
So my final question: There's no way to force it to give it to that city. In other words,
you could.
How do I
You
do
want
it?
okay. I see. You're saying you kind of want this to be pre-filled already for
Correct.
Okay,
For some categories, I might have a category of like pet foods or something, and I really don't got time to put those contacts in. So I'm wondering if someone that is not locally in that city, if they can put, once they come on that site for that city, it'll automatically still give the listing for that city. Is there a way to like force it to do it?
You're saying you want to guess the visitor's location when the visitor
No.
for you
Let's say this.
you want to hard code the location. Okay. Let's have some fun. Let's do one real quick. I like getting into the code a little bit. I like this conversation too, and there weren't that many questions. So let me go to show widgets real quick. So we're going to edit this widget here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a hidden field with a default value of Long Beach. Okay. So this requires getting a little bit into the code view, but it is definitely possible because we're trying to force the form to do something here. So This is our location input field, and I'm just going to put, I'm going to make it a hidden field. And we don't need a placeholder. Just a moment. We don't need this. And I'm just going to give it a value of Long Beach. So there. So so it's going to be a hidden field, and the default value is Long Beach. So let's save that. And then let's see what happens when I do a search for lawyers. I'm going to see if it gives me Long Beach lawyers. So that field's gone now. I can get rid of this too later, or skip that, but let's just type in lawyer. Let's type in DUI lawyer. That's what Brian was looking for. So here we see Long Beach. Yeah, we saw it there. Long Beach DUI lawyers. So you see now the location field's hidden, and it's defaulting to Long Beach. So what we had to do is we just edit the form field. Again, you got to get a little bit of the code here. And what we're doing in the location input is we're saying the value is Long Beach, and it's always going to be Long Beach in this case. So the short answer to your question is so it can be done. Is that helpful at all?
Yes, that's exactly what I needed.
What's your skill level?
I mean, I messed with code a little bit, so I was actually trying to figure out how to do it. Is there a way you could post this or send it to me by email?
I'm going to put this in the chat here. So basically what you want is you wanted this input field. The name of the field is location value, and then the value is the city that you want it to be in, or the location. I'm going to put it in the comments here. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. And you can also ask in the Facebook group. And if you get stuck, we can follow up and try to assist you there.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Of course, lots of fun. Thank you for that question. All right, let's see if we got any other questions lined up. We got some starred ones here, David.
We got a great question, actually, more of a beginner question from James asking for a business directory or a membership website. Is it better to start in a smaller town or a large metropolis? Of course, larger city would be harder to rank. What are your thoughts?
I am always leaning towards more niche and more targeted. And the reason is, well, let's do the opposite. Let's say you're a website that's everything for everyone. So you're basically doing every business and every location in the world. It's really hard to convince people that your site specializes for them. When you focus in a smaller niche or a specific industry, or pair that with a specific region as well, like a smaller town or city, it's easy to pitch to the businesses or professionals, hey, we are a directory, and add some prestige to it. You know, you can call it like the #1 network. Don't just call it a directory. I mean, that's fine sometimes, but what we're playing to is to people's egos. They want to be part of something prestigious, something important, something that their professional career should be tied to, and you want to make your website seem like a legitimate resource for the audience that you're serving. So you can always expand. You can always start smaller, and then now we've expanded our directory to people in this area, or you can go outwards from there. But also, you don't want too small because you don't want to limit your marketing pool. You want to make sure that there's volume in the market you're going to serve. So find a balance between large and small, but definitely finding a niche and a target region is definitely beneficial in my opinion.
Love it. And we got another question here, kind of on the opposite side, asking if there is a BD directory for developed BD sites for sale with or without cash flow. In the Facebook group's non-promotional, but we have had a lot of users list their websites and purchase websites off of other marketplaces like Flippa. Flippa's a popular website flipping website.
Yeah, so selling websites, you got to be a little careful with that, whether it's a BD site or any site, but there are dedicated platforms, and I would recommend going this route for finding websites for sale. I don't know how many BD sites you'll find on here, but the reason these platforms are good is because they protect both the buyer and the seller. It goes through an escrow process, especially when large amounts of cash are involved, like buying something for a few $1,000s, and what have you. So this adds a level of protection for both the buyers and the sellers. But it's a great way to research how much the potential value of your site is, because you can see maybe similar sites that you may be interested in buying and selling. So you have an idea of what the market value is for there. So, and if we notice here, see, get the latest listings. This is part of what we're going to be doing is so you can subscribe to the push notifications of your own websites. I'm just going to hit yes, please, just for fun. Oh, and then we see it prompts the browser notification there. So I'll hit allow. So for the time being, I'll get some notifications from Flippa. But yeah, I would go through a qualified source like Flippa. There's a few others out there. It's just to protect you and the buyer and the seller through those processes.
And we do have Clayton in the studio, wanted his mic to be unmuted for a question here.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Just a quick question. I noticed how we integrate with Google on a lot of things. I just got my site finished. I have a job placement site, but I wanted to find out how hard would it be to integrate with Google Jobs?
Great. So that's actually something, it's not on the exact roadmap right now, but Google has jobs and event feeds. They're limited because they just give you the surface level of them, but let's actually look at this together because I'm kind of interested in searching it myself. So search jobs here. And right, let's just search for web designer. Just want to see what comes up here. So I think this is Google career jobs. Let me find the Google Jobs feed. Google Jobs feed. Job search on Google. There we go. Get started. Yeah. So what you can do is, short answer. Right now, if there's an RSS feed, and I think there is, you can use tools like Zapier to ping the RSS feed, for a job, and you would do it by category and location. There's probably some criteria for the RSS feeds. And then you can use tools like Zapier or Pabbly that will create the job post on your Brilliant Directories website. Let me see here. Maybe we just ask ChatGPT real quick where that is. Okay. Where can I get an RSS feed of Google Jobs search? But yeah, the short answer is if there's an RSS feed, you can add the jobs to your Brilliant Directories website. Do you have any other sources besides Google that you're thinking about, Clayton?
That was the only source that I knew, because I actually purchased Job Boardly off of AppSumo, and I saw that they were talking about Google Jobs. So that's when I first found out about it. And I was like, hey, I would love to do that because I have jobs that I'm gonna put on there. But just like when we use the business data, I just wanted my site to look a little bit full.
There it is. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, we're exploring jobs and events because they have both. And it would basically pull the data from here. But yeah, if you can find a feed, let me give you a map. RSS to Brilliant Directories. Zapier. Here we go. This is what we want. Create posts in Brilliant Directory. So job posts for new items in an RSS feed. I'm going to post this in the chat here just to give you kind of a direction and roadmap of kind of where to poke around right now to find RSS feeds. If you can find RSS feeds, you can create the job post in your Brilliant Directory site. So find a jobs RSS feed. There's probably many out there. I just can't find it real quick with that Google search I was doing, but you should be able to get something going. And then now that you mentioned this, it got me excited to further kind of fast track the jobs data and the events data that we could potentially offer you guys.
Hey, I definitely appreciate that. Love what y'all doing. Keep up the great work.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you, Clayton. All right. Good stuff there. I see some more questions here. I like this question here. Like, what SEO or ranking advantages do we get for a directory? Is this something we do ourselves? Great question, James. So your BD site is just like any website out there. It needs to have good quality content to rank for SEO. What the benefit is with a Brilliant Directory site as opposed to, or a directory, I should say, is you have user-generated content, UGC for short. And this is your members creating their listings. It's visitors coming. If you have a business directory, leaving reviews for those businesses. This is all unique content that Google likes to eat up. And what we've done on the Brilliant Directory side is we've optimized as much as we can the default SEO for your site. So as long as you're adding good quality content to your site, the BD site kind of takes care of the rest. And we've tried to do all the in-between moves and fill in the gaps with leveraging the content that's added by you and your members to the site and really multiplying the SEO factor of that the best we can for your site. But here's an example. The directory, let's just use the local business example. So you'll eventually, if you do things right, your site will start ranking for when somebody Googles doctors in Los Angeles. Your search results page of your directory for doctors in Los Angeles could be a result found on Google. And then also the businesses, they'll start ranking for their business names will start ranking. So, law offices and things like that, when they start Googling themselves, their profile on your website, your directory site will start ranking in Google. So you will be able to you'll be able to start attracting traffic from consumers or end users who are looking for or seeking out these professionals. But then you want to figure out how to monetize that. You want to do it in two ways. Either you can put ads around your site, or better yet, you want to funnel these end users who are trying to connect with your professional members and feed your professional members with leads. Businesses and professionals, they want visibility and they want leads. And the reason they're going to pay for that visibility on your directory website is because you're successfully feeding them leads or prospects for their business. So the SEO benefits are there, and a directory just kind of helps you do it a lot faster because many pages are being created, and also the user-generated content factor as well. So good question there. All right, let's see here. Rogelio in Denver has a question. I started a help FAQ page for my site, but it feels unsurmountable to complete. Since many functions, features for BD are standard, can you provide a starter template page to do our own? David, help me out here. So he's creating an FAQ page for his members to understand how his website works. Rogelio, if you can follow up, is this maybe on the pricing page, like FAQs when they're signing up, or are you trying to itemize every possible feature on your BD site for your members? If you can clarify that, that could be a little helpful, actually.
It sounds like he's talking about the features that are available to either the members and or just the general website visitors. One thing a lot of users have done in the past is actually create a quick, simple screen recording, kind of going through the process of setting up a member profile, showing kind of all the features that are available to members, and then just embedding that video in members' dashboard. So as soon as they register, the first time they log in, they see this embedded video right up front in their dashboard, so they can start to get familiar with their account and all the features that are available.
I like that idea. Let's actually go there together real quick on a site, and let's stick with this site here. Let me see what I had open. There we go. Let's just go to the web page builder real quick, and we'll create a new page. And we'll just call it FAQ, learn about being a member. And again, there could be 1,000,001 things that they need to do. So what we want to do is address the most common FAQs. We don't want 1,000 FAQs. When you have that many, you're basically creating a support knowledge base with articles for everything imaginable. So maybe here is to maybe simplify things for yourself. Maybe just include 10, if you really want to be, aggressive, maybe 20 FAQs. How do I log into my account? How do I reset my password? How do I add a profile photo? How can I get more visibility? Just common things that are a combination of both how to take advantage of their member account with you, and also how to troubleshoot some basic issues. And then what you can do is at the top of this page, as David was suggesting, is put a YouTube video at the top of this page. You can insert a video here and just create a 1-minute video showing them how to quickly sign up, quickly log in, quickly update their listing. After they do that, seeing their listing on the search results pages, and then encourage them to do other things like ask people to leave reviews and the other actions you want them to take. Promote a coupon or event your business is having, and then end it with, and if you have more questions along the way, just fill out our contact us form. So what I was going to do at the bottom of the FAQ is say something like, if you have more questions, just some call to action, etc., contact us. And you can link this to your contact us page. So now what you've done is you've presented them with a helpful video, 1 or 2 minutes. You've addressed 10 to 20 common asked questions about using their account, getting the most out of your website, and some basic troubleshooting like resetting their password. And then you can end it with, this is not the right way to do it, but you can put a nice button here and say, here, you can drop this here. Do you still need help? And, you can link them to your contact us form with one of these buttons here. Just a quick way to do it. So, that's basically what I would suggest for the FAQ. Simplify things for yourself, and then try not to overthink it. We can't guess everything our users need. It would debilitate us if we tried to address every if and hypothetical situation our members would encounter. So just produce something good. I'm a big advocate for 80%. Get it 80% good, and then move on to the next task, especially if you're working on your site on your own or with a small team. All right, good question there.
And we do have a couple people just piggybacking off of that, asking how to add custom content to the members dashboard. I believe we have a tip of the week video explaining how to do that. So I'll look for that and share the link in the chat here.
Okay, great. I think I can grab it real quick. I know where it is off the top of my head. Just search for that's one of my favorite ones that we did, actually. Here it is: 3 ways to engage users inside their dashboard. I'm gonna just fast forward so you guys can see kind of where we end up with this here. So in their dashboard, so this is inside their dashboard, and what we did is we added some banners, things to do. So it's really nice. Let me share this link in the chat with everyone. And it's a great way to share company news or shout out certain things that are coming. So every time they log in, you can manually update it, message of the week, right? That's really fun. And it actually gives them something to look forward to when they log in. Right, let's see here. Todd's asking, how can we track banner ad clicks and views for monetization purposes? So what you can do is BD doesn't have a click tracking like built in for the banner ads. You can use tools like Bitly or Tiny. There's a ton of them. They're basically URL shorteners. And with these tools, you can create a redirect for where that link is supposed to go to, and then you can track the progress of that link. Bitly is just one. You can Google like link shortener tool, and there's some that do a lot. You can choose like what the shortener is, but this way you can track your clicks and things like that. And there's a ton of free ones out there. I know this one says pricing, but this is just the first one that comes to mind. So the simple solution is that if you need to go the next level, then you can use like a banner ad management system like Ad Butler. That might be too much. Let's just go to Ad Butler. These do have costs, and this is like they do all the ad serving. You put your ads in there, it'll track clicks, it displays, impressions, all the higher level stuff that you would want to do with ad management. Again, might be too early or overkill. And I think just a simple like link shortener that does like tracks the clicks could be a better tool to start with. And actually, since we were on a ChatGPT thing, let's ask it, what are the top link shorteners that track clicks and are free? Let's have some fun here, Todd. All right, so yeah, it gave Bitly here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Rebrandly, Tiny URL. That's a good one, I think. The list goes on, and they probably all have variations of free versions, and then at some level you probably have to pay a nominal fee, but this is a good place to start here. Good stuff there, Todd. All right, let's see here. We got Roger's asking, will you be adding features to the web page editor in 2025? Example, I can drag in 3 column modules, but if I only want 2, I have to manually edit the HTML. Let me help you out there, Roger. You can do something right now, which I think might help you out. Let's go to the, let me go back to this site here. Let's go to the web page builder together. Let's go to web page builder. And what Roger's referring to in this specific example, So let's throw in this 3-column one, and he only needs 2. What you can do, Roger, is you can click here, and there are options here for columns. You can delete the column, and we've now split it evenly into 2. So you can achieve that now without having to go. I know what you were doing before. You're going to code view and deleting one of the columns, but you can do that there. What I want to do later, and we don't have it nailed down yet, is you can insert a column here. What I want to do is, as you're sliding the column so you can see the percentage. So as you're sliding it, if you want equal columns, you can actually see that it's like 33, whatever the is equal. So you can actually see what percent the column is taking up and get it as evenly as possible without having to get into the code view. But yeah, you can use this area here to add columns or delete columns. There we went from 4 to 3 to 2, and then you can go down, and you can also do rows. Also, you can add rows above, etc., etc. So hopefully that gives you some direction there. And yeah, we will be doing more updates to the web page builder, basically making it a bit more intuitive and easier to use, more fluid. All right, we got one more here from Jason. Can you also import local weather from a city into a BD site? For that, I don't know exactly what use case you have for that, but I think there's local weather widgets, and you can just add them to your site. Just do free here. There's probably a ton of them. Yeah, Google has one, local weather widgets. Just look up local weather widget, and you can add it to a custom widget on your site and then put it in your footer or your header. Be careful with these. They suck up a lot of the loading time on your site. So if you can find one that loads relatively quickly and doesn't slow down the experience for your users, just be wary of that with this.
And in addition to widget, I would also include in your search embed. I know a lot of weather sites have embed code that you can just copy and paste.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And weather's ever changing, so it'll be dynamic. Okay, good question there, Scott. All right, guys, let me backtrack a bit here. We do have our cyber deals ending today. So if you didn't pick something up, highly recommend at least getting one thing, just so you don't have any regrets. We have lowered the prices very aggressively. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/cyber. I think we have a banner we can tick across the stream here. There you go. brilliantdirectories.com/cyber. And then for everyone on the webinar, go to the Brilliant Directories shop and get some free swag. You can go to shop.brilliantdirectories.com. Use these 2 promo codes, free ship and Black Fry. It'll bring the price down to 0. You can spend up to $20 in the shop. Get yourself a hat, tumbler, fanny pack, lots of good things there. And do we have any final questions, David, or should we end it on that high note there?
We do have one. Steve's asked this before, but I know it's a feature that a good amount of users are asking for. Are we any closer to getting mailing addresses added to the download of the transaction history report?
I have to check on that. I can get back. And that would be the billing address that's on file for the member, I'm assuming. We should be exporting that if you're exporting data from the transactions table. So I will follow up, and hopefully I'll have some news for you on the next webinar. All right, guys. Well, we're just about out of time there. Super fun webinar, amazing questions. And again, there were a ton of lab updates. Let's just review these. Lots of irons in the fire coming soon. And again, big shout out to you guys and your suggestions and your ideas, and also your participation in the Facebook group and also on our YouTube channel. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. Let's take a quick look at a calendar here. Let's see if this is one of those. The next webinar will be on the 18th. So just before the holiday season there. And yeah, the following is Christmas Day, so we won't do a webinar that day. So yeah, the 18th may be the last webinar, David, for the year. Maybe we do one not on a Wednesday, maybe on another off day, just so we can get 2 more in for the year if it's possible. We'll look into that. All right, cool. Well, fun stuff there. On behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, this was amazing, guys. Bittersweet, the year is coming to an end, but we're going to be better and stronger than ever going into 2025, and we want you guys to be as well. Next webinar will be in 2 weeks. We'll catch you then. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys. Ciao.